right. Well, welcome everyone. I would love to introduce our incredible um, speaker for today, Leah Bliss. I'm so glad to have her here. I had the pleasure of meeting Leah and getting to know her at a conference recently, and she's a globally recognized LinkedIn expert, coach, and entrepreneur dedicated to helping professionals and businesses adapt and thrive in the digital age. We were talking, and she said that she helps executives create posts that resonate with their audiences so that you can actually connect the people you want reading your posts. And that really resonated for me. And I thought, you have to come talk to Chips. So I'm just thrilled. Leah, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. The session is being recorded. And Leah, take it away.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I am extra excited to be here. And when Monica says international, she's not kidding. I'm actually right now in the country of Suriname in South America. I'm speaking at a conference here tomorrow. So I'm normally not this sweaty, but it's just very warm. So please, thank you for being understanding. Um, for those of you that feel comfortable, please come off of mute. I love this to be an interactive session with everyone. I really want to answer questions. I want to just make sure you're laughing at my jokes, and I need that verbal kind of, and I need to see it. So, um, yeah, I'm really excited. We're going to get started. We're going to do some fun things. We're going to talk about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is something that a lot of leaders know they should be doing, but aren't necessarily doing time. They don't have the access. They don't have the resources. I hear so often, I just don't think people really care about what I have to say, or I have nothing to say. And that's so common, but we're going to talk about how to solve a lot of the problems like the time constraint, how to make the most out of LinkedIn with the least amount of time. But before we jump in, I need a volunteer. This is just a little about me. I did write a book called Everything is Your Fault. It has nothing to do with LinkedIn, but it's a really great passive aggressive holiday present. So if that's something you're interested in, it's on Amazon, but it's not about LinkedIn. So for a volunteer, I need someone to post this to their LinkedIn right now. This isn't a gotcha. This is just a simple post talking about being a part of Chips. And I just need someone who'd be willing to post it. Pop it into the chat, come off of mute, please. We're going to go through so much content. Interrupt me, jump off of mute.
You know, I'm happy
Like,
to do it, but I would love to have another one of our members do this. This is an
It
incredible opportunity for someone to
looks like
elevate their
Katie.
profile.
yeah,
Yes,
Katie.
Katie volunteered. Perfect. All right. Katie, have you posted on LinkedIn at all today or yesterday? Yes, you have today.
Yes, I have. Sorry, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Okay. All right. Thank you for volunteering. I need somebody who hasn't posted today. I should have said that first.
Okay. Yep. No
I'm happy
problem.
So
to
thank you.
volunteer. I haven't posted today.
Okay, who said that? Natasha? Okay.
Yeah, Natasha.
Carolyn, I see you volunteered as well, but Natasha, I'll drop this in for you. So I'm just going to jump out of this presentation. Oh, I'm showing off my slides ahead of time. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to copy it kind of in two parts just to make sure it fits in the chat. And I'm going to drop it in for you. There's the first half. Let me know if you struggle picking up that text. And then here's the second half. Okay. And then, Carolyn, while you're doing that, if you could drop in a link to your LinkedIn profile for us. I don't have your last name up here, so or else I would just look you up. But if you could drop in a link to your LinkedIn profile so that we can all take a look.
Sure thing. Give me a second. I'm just copying and pasting, and then once I got it posted, I will send you guys a link in a sec.
You're so good. I asked you to do many things all at once, so you are fabulous.
Doing the best I can here. I'm also eating lunch, so full multitasking. And just working post here, putting that second part on.
I'm obviously not at home, and I'm used to having all of my very large monitors, so I am navigating this very tiny laptop. So this is This is multitasking. It's always a clunky and awkward start to this presentation, but you'll see why. It's actually on purpose.
All right, step one complete. We have posted, and now I'm trying to figure out how to send you guys my link. I know I've done this
I
before.
will show you.
Yeah, show me.
I can show you real quick. So we're going to come to LinkedIn, and you're going to click on your face or your name.
Yep.
And then at the top, you'll just copy that link there.
Oh, easy. All right.
And I love that everyone's popping their LinkedIn profile so we can all connect together. That is super fab. All right.
Oops, excuse me.
Oh, bless you. All right, Carolyn, here is your LinkedIn profile. I love it. And here is your post. Okay. Now, everyone else has some homework. I'm going to drop a link to this post. So everyone don't drop your links for a sec because we're going to drop, I want everyone to click on this link, go to Carolyn's post, and just leave a comment. Leave a comment about why you love chips, what you're looking forward to, whether you're in tech or IP law or policy. Let's talk about, just give the post a comment. Do not like it, just comment. You can see it. We have one comment. Okay. 1,000 points for Carolyn for volunteering, 1,000 points for Katie for also volunteering, and 1,000 points for Olivia for volunteering. The points don't matter. You don't win anything, but I like giving them away because it's fun. It's like, what is that? Whose line is it anyway? Everything's made up and the points don't matter. All right, let's get some comments in here. 6 comments, excellent. Hopefully we can get to 10. 10 is going to be the golden number here for us to move on. Perfect, 10, easy, you guys are great. All right, Carolyn, your last piece of homework is to go and respond to all of the comments on your post. So while I'm talking, while we take the conversation forward, you just go ahead and respond to those comments. Cool?
Yep, on it.
Awesome. Okay. Let's jump back into the presentation. All righty. So LinkedIn. A lot of people ask me, how did you first get into LinkedIn? And it all comes to my father. My father introduced me to LinkedIn. For my 18th birthday, I got a LinkedIn account. I wanted a trip to Europe, but I got a LinkedIn account and that was great. But I was able to use it and learn about it and train on it. But a couple of things about my father. His name is Richard Bliss. You can see this is our real last name. We didn't make it up for the showmanship. He is from Olympia, Washington, where I was born. For a long time, we lived in San Diego, and he has a brother, my uncle, named John. Now, this information isn't private necessarily. It's personal, but it's not technically private information. So if somebody wants to, Google Richard Bliss San Diego and tell me what pops up first. Just a quick Google.
His Wikipedia page.
Wikipedia. Okay, what does it say?
Richard L. Bliss is an American engineer and former employee of Qualcomm who was arrested in November 1997 while working with Russia on charges of espionage.
Richard Bliss from San Diego, or excuse me, from Olympia, Washington, who was living in San Diego, working in tech, was arrested in Russia as a spy, as an American spy in Russia. His brother was mentioned in the news, his brother John, saying, "My brother is not a spy." This is 100% an accurate Wikipedia page, except for the fact that it's not my father. There is another, Richard Bliss, who in fact was arrested in Russia, and the Clinton administration had to get involved and they got him home. And the longer version of this story is that my grandmother owns a CPA firm in Olympia, and my uncle John works there. He gets a call one day and they say, "Oh, it's Richard Bliss on the phone." He's like, "Yeah, I'll talk to Richard." Quickly realizes that this is not his brother. He's like, they're talking about his investments and managing the money. And finally, John says, you know, Patricia Bliss, the owner of this firm, has a son named Richard. And this gentleman says, yeah, exactly. That's why I called you, because he won a massive settlement from his company and didn't want anyone to know that he had gotten these millions of dollars. So he was going to have my grandmother manage it for him so that if anybody found out that Richard Bliss, money, millions of dollars of money being managed by Patricia Bliss, they would just assume it was my dad. So what does this tell us? It's a fun story, but what does this tell us? This tells us that if we don't take control of our online presence, of our own personal brand, someone or something else might. I met a lot of people that say, I don't really like social media. I don't want to be on it. A lack of presence is just as impactful as a presence. People notice when you don't participate. I was working with a CEO and I said, hey, let me manage your social media for you as a fractional social media manager. And he said, I don't really need that. He called me back 2 weeks later because he had lost out on a major deal. The client had canceled the meeting because they looked at his LinkedIn profile and thought that he wasn't a serious enough business person because his LinkedIn profile wasn't put together. The last thing we want is to miss opportunities because of LinkedIn. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, I'm never going to call it X. I'm not going to do it. All of these platforms we consider social media. And I would suggest that we remove LinkedIn from that umbrella term because Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, how do they make money?
Through us.
Through us, ads, yes. Advertising, yes, yes, yes. I love the saying, if it's free, you're the product. Instagram specifically wants to promote people who post on their platform that are going to keep us entertained the longest, that keep us doom scrolling. I think we've all been there. You look up and 20 minutes has gone by. The longer they can keep you on the platform, scrolling through content, the more ads they can show to you and the more money that they can make. We all do it, Sharon. We all do it. Everyone. LinkedIn only makes 20% of their revenue from advertising. 80% of the money that LinkedIn makes is from subscription models, whether it's Sales Navigator, the recruiter tool, or Simple Premium accounts. They don't want to have an experience like Facebook or Instagram because I'll tell you, I would never pay for Facebook. I would never pay to get on Instagram. LinkedIn wants to protect the experience of those people who pay, and some of my clients, millions of dollars to get their sales teams, especially on Sales Navigator, to make business deals go forward. And that's LinkedIn's ultimate goal, to connect professionals and have them start talking to each other to drive business forward. So how does that change the way that we should interact on this platform? Great question. I'd love to answer that for you. LinkedIn only cares about one thing. LinkedIn cares about if your content started a conversation with people who are actually interested in that topic. So the way that they test this algorithmically is when you make a post go live on LinkedIn, your post is shared to only 10% of your audience, 10% of your connections and followers get to see your post organically. Then LinkedIn says, was your post able to start a conversation with that test group? Could you generate conversation that was meaningful to business? If so, it goes to a much, much broader audience. But there's a few things that we do from Twitter and Instagram and all those that ruin our chances of being successful on LinkedIn. One of them is overposting. Now, I wasn't able to look at many of your profiles beforehand, but I feel like we're either in two categories. We post 6 times a day, or we post once every 6 months. Every time you make a post on LinkedIn, it considers that a conversation. You make a post, you start a conversation. If Carolyn were to post again in, 2 hours, LinkedIn would say, oh, this conversation is now over. You've started another one. You will never see more than one post from a single person on the feed at any given time because LinkedIn doesn't want you having multiple conversations. If you include a link to a YouTube, a link to a website, a link to a white paper, a link to a LinkedIn article, even any link on LinkedIn will immediately cut that 10% reach in half because most professionals, and I'm sure all of you can relate to this, go on LinkedIn for a purpose. We do not doom scroll LinkedIn. We go to look at things on the feed. We go to interact, to do research. To take us off the platform interrupts that experience, and we rarely come back to it. So LinkedIn cuts our reach in half if we include a link because it doesn't want people leaving the platform. Now, Katie asked in the comments, does it apply to links in the comments? No. But if someone reposts your post, the link doesn't necessarily go with it. And so the easiest workaround for this is to make your post go live and then immediately, 3 seconds, less than 3 seconds, 0.5 seconds later, edit the post, add the link. It circumnavigates the algorithm. The question from Monica, is it better to post every 2 or 3 days so that each post has more legs for even greater conversation? Absolutely. There are times that I won't post for 10 days because I've had a post go really viral. I've gotten a lot of comments and people continue to comment and engage with it. I don't want to shut down the promotion of that post until I've eked out every last bit of engagement that I can. So this is why automatic posting schedulers are really, really bad for LinkedIn. One, LinkedIn can tell if you're posting from a third-party site and it cuts your reach in half. Also, you're not present. They call it the post and ghost. If you're not present, engaging with your content when it comes out, LinkedIn's not going to promote it the same way. So make a post go live and then hang out with it, just like we're doing with these comments. Hang out with your post and make sure that you're there, not using a third-party tool. That's a great question. What's the best time to post? That's such a great question because that question comes from other social media tools. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. When's the best time to post so that people will see it? The real question is, when's the best time to post that I know that my network is most likely to engage with it? We'll talk about that more in detail. Erica, yes, that includes links to other places on LinkedIn. A link is a link is a link. A link is a link is a link. Katie, we'll chat later. It'll be fine. Okay, I've heard that if you edit a LinkedIn post after going live, it kills the algorithm. That used to be true. So Ashley, great insight. It used to be that if you had to wait something like 10 minutes. This was about 4 years ago. Then it was you took a 5% hit on your reach if you edited the post after it went live. But I would take a 5% hit over a 50% hit. Now you have up to 3 free edits before the algorithm kicks in for anything. So these are all great, great questions and insights. Perfect. All right. I have more bad news. So don't worry. When you click the repost button, your post will go to 1% of your audience. When you click repost and share with your own thoughts, though, it goes to 0.5%. 0.5% of your followers will see a post if you click repost, and it counts as your post for the day, which sucks. And I know we look around and think, then why does it exist? Why even do it? The reason LinkedIn has this is the reason they demote it so much and it's so suppressed in the algorithm is because you're essentially unnecessarily duplicating content without adding anything to the conversation. And LinkedIn wants to see conversation and not just parroting of the same concepts. Now, reposting does have some benefits, but we'll get to that in a second. No wonder no one's been seeing your posts. Yes, now you know. Now you know. So I'm going to give you the formula. I love numbers. I love math because math doesn't really lie. And so here's the formula. Yes, because a like is worth 1 point of value. Imagine if you were at a networking conference and someone walks up to you and says something, hey, I just sat through one of these sessions and it was really fabulous and I learned all about this, that, and the other. And you went, it's not a conversation. You haven't done anything. And so they give you 1 point because it's the lowest amount of value that you can possibly get. But a repost is helpful. If you click repost and add your own thoughts, it's worth 3 points for the person who posted. Your post will still get 1% reach. Nobody's going to see it, but they'll get 3 points of value. If you click repost instantly to share it with your network, that post gets a 10-point value, 10 times more valuable. in its scoring than a like would. Yes, that is what I have a 10-year-old and I get that a lot as well.
I'm sorry, can you say that again, Leo? If you repost what? You get 10%? 10? If you
So
repost your own post?
if you click the repost button, so let's say the post that Carolyn just made, if you clicked repost to share to your audience, her post would get 10 points of value. But if you clicked repost and added your own thoughts to it, she would only get 3 points of value. Whichever way you do it, you're getting roughly 1% of your audience to see that post. Does that make sense? Maybe why doesn't make sense, but the way that the numbers work, does that make sense? Yes? Cool. All right. Commenting. Commenting. This is the most impactful thing that you can do. Why do you get less credit for adding something than when you don't? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know why. LinkedIn's algorithm determined that it's just not as valuable to the algorithm when you add your own thoughts and insights to the post. I could probably think of some reasons and guess, but I don't have hard data as to why they made that decision. I just know that that's how the numbers come up. So it's a good question. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know stuff. But what I do know is that commenting is the most impactful thing that you can do on LinkedIn. Every time you leave a comment on someone's post, it's worth 15 points. Every time you respond to someone's comment on your post, it's worth 15 points. Essentially, you want to get as many points as possible. And if LinkedIn values conversation, comments are where the conversation is going to happen. And that's going to be the most valuable thing on your post to show to the algorithm that it is in fact valuable. There's a few other factors in here, which is when you click, if your post is long enough that there's a see more button and someone clicks on it, you get 5 more points. So if you've got a good hook on it. But if you can get someone to continue to read it, the longer someone stays reading your post and engaging with it, the more points you get. I have boys, and so to me, in my mind, I think about it as a multiplier score on a video game. The more they stay, the more value points that you start ranking up in the background. And the last thing is the velocity. LinkedIn wants to know how quickly were you able to generate all of this engagement after you've posted. A post that gets 50 comments in an hour is much more valuable than a post that gets 50 comments in a week. And so when it comes to how this works, how do the points benefit you? And the question is, do we get points or value if we comment on someone else's post? We'll talk about how that impacts you, but yes, short answer, yes. How do the points benefit you? Well, here's the thing. If you can make a post go live with no links or edit the post and add the link, no hashtags, hashtags have zero value on LinkedIn. They don't trend, that you can't follow them. They used to be more valuable. But about 6 weeks ago, LinkedIn has started pulling all of the hyperlinks off of the hashtags, and they're just completely worthless. So no hashtags, as you saw in the post that we did, no links, and you can get 10 people to comment and respond to your comments. You are 100% guaranteed to get 1,000 views on that post, regardless of how many people are in your network. Danny, it's a great question. Do images and posts increase or factor into the points? Kind of. Kind of, because yes, but it's not algorithmic, it's human behavioral. So we'll talk about that. But first I want to ask, how is that post doing? How, that post that we did in the beginning, how are we doing, Carolyn?
Oh my gosh, how do I find out how we're doing? This is how inept I am at LinkedIn and how badly I'm looking up everything you're seeing right now. I'm the girl that posts every 6 months, so you called me out. So do I go to notifications? How do we find out how this post is doing?
Let me just jump into my LinkedIn and I'll show you. Pull this up. So what you're going to do is Reshare. Okay, here's my LinkedIn feed. So you're going to click on your name again. It's going to bring you to your page.
Yep.
And scroll down past your analytics, past your about section, past your feature to your activity. It's going to say posts. And then you'll click on down at the bottom where it says show all posts. It'll be the first one at the top. And it'll tell you exactly how this was the post I did today because I am here, tropical jungle life. It'll tell you right down here how many posts you've gotten. I did not
Okay.
get 10 comments.
I went to activity. Now I click posts.
Mhm.
I wasn't moving as fast as you, sorry.
Oh, sorry. You're good. Posts, and then down to show all posts.
Oh, there we go. That's
And then
okay.
scroll down, and it should tell us what your number is.
I've got 417 impressions.
417, and it's been what, 20
20
minutes?
20 minutes? Yeah.
20 minutes. 417. You're going to double that easy.
Awesome.
Fantastic. So you can see that getting people to engage with your content is really how it works. So let's jump into the next section, which is, and I'll touch on visuals just really briefly, because the worst performing content on LinkedIn is images, excuse me, is video. Video performs terribly on LinkedIn because nobody gets on LinkedIn to watch videos. Again, we're not here to doom scroll. We're here to interact with people that we want to do business with. The posts that are text only or text with a personal photo, people love to see your face because we're already separated by technology. And the more you can draw someone in, a picture of four perfectly diverse people sitting around a laptop pretending to work, no one mistakes that for you and your team. They know it's a stock photo. But a picture of you with your team increases the likelihood that someone's going to comment because they feel like there's a real person on the other end of that post who's going to respond. And that's how you can pull people into those conversations a little bit easier. Most of us joined LinkedIn to get a job. I mean, we were either in university or we wanted to move our Rolodex off of our desk onto a digital space, or we're looking for a job. But most of us haven't really updated our LinkedIn profile since we've gotten jobs. And I'm going to guess most of you are happily employed. And so when you look at the way that your LinkedIn profile is presenting to a buying audience or an audience of people that you're looking to lead, whether it's partners, prospects, employees, you need to make sure that your LinkedIn profile accurately represents the way that you want to be viewed and open the doors for opportunity with those individuals. So, 4 things you need on your LinkedIn profile. If you do not have these 4 things on your LinkedIn profile, your reach is automatically cut in half, no matter what. So we're going to go over this. I want to answer Rose's question. Some LinkedIn content crosses into the Facebook category, sharing personal details. This is a great question that will be answered in 3 slides. So excellent, right on topic there. We're going to talk about Mike Riley. He's a friend of mine, and this is his profile. He did a really great job of it. I did a really good job of it. But first, we have a banner photo. Your background banner photo for your LinkedIn really is not meant to be a billboard. Having a website, having a call to action, having text really of any kind is unnecessary because no one can interact with it. This is where you want to instantly visually connect with the audience you are looking to influence. For Mike, who works in sales, he wants to connect with a buying audience in Nashville. Here's the Nashville skyline. Pretty easy. Next is the profile picture. The only rule with the profile picture is that your nose needs to be in the center of the frame. Because a photo from this far away, we can't really see you. We need to see your face. I want to be able to tell because this is as big as this photo is ever going to get. And especially on a mobile device, if it's a picture of you standing in front of the Eiffel Tower or even trying to show off your long hair or your nice jacket, Zoom it in, crop it at the collarbone, make sure your face is right there. Next, we have your headline. Your headline needs to say your title and your company name, and that's pretty much it. Any call to action or we help or tagline should come at the end because it truncates. And when you post or when you comment, the only pieces of information that are shared with your audience are your face, your name, and your headline. You want to have your company name and your title lead with that weight just a little bit. Your audience needs to know where they can expect to put you into their ecosystem of business before they interact with you, so they can understand what they can expect from this business relationship. Does that all make sense? That's a pretty easy fix. We can all do with a brand new headshot. I mean, I don't think anyone hates that. The last and probably the most difficult section of our profile to understand, because what do I put in my about section? Most of us at one point or another had our resume cover letter right here, but we don't need to speak to our work experience because there's a work experience section. We don't need to speak to our skills because there's a skills section. The about section is an opportunity for you to have a one-on-one conversation with your audience that you're wanting to influence, to let them know what they can expect from a business relationship with you moving forward. This is not a once upon a time, I started my career in the late 1900s and I've worked my way up to this place. This is where we talk about, because I am an expert in my field, because my experience carries weight, I have seen and done things in my career that make me so incredibly valuable. And here's why. Telling our audience what they should know, what they should expect, and why we're the best choice for whatever influence we're looking to lean on them. Jocelyn's question is, do you recommend company name in the headline? Yes. Because if, let's say you are the chief legal officer at your company and it just said chief legal or legal operations manager, but I don't know where you work. I would have to click on your profile to go and look, but the likelihood of that happening is pretty slim. If you comment on my post and all I see is chief legal officer, I think, okay, interesting, but I don't know where you fit with all the business that I do. So I would include your company name, absolutely. The other question was, what do impressions include? Are these individual views? Impressions is how many people physically saw your post, that it came across their screen, even for a second. How many people physically looked at your post? So the about section is, I don't want to say it's conflicting, but it's hard. It's hard to write an about section because for most of us, we don't want to be that person that goes on and on about our success, our skills, and our value. We don't want to be that person on the internet that's bragging about ourselves. It's embarrassing. We don't want to bore our audience with too much information. We want it short, sweet, to the point, get it over with. Here's what I am, here's what I stand for, here's what I do. But that's from our perspective, and that is a universal experience. We all feel as though we should have far less in our about section when we click this see more button. Click it, 2 more lines max. That's all we're comfortable with. But I'm going to significantly encourage you to stretch that comfort zone because you're out there doing things, making impact. And when people see you, they want to know more about you. They come to your profile, they see your company page. Yes, we're always told to be humble, don't brag, don't show up, don't take up too much space. Take up some space, ladies. Your about section, again, is the chance for you to tell the story, not just, I've been in my career for 20 years, and so that's why you should hire me. That's why you should take me seriously. But to tell the story and to have that conversation. When someone comes to your profile and they click the see more button, what do they want to see? It's more. They want to see more. So let's not deny the people who are looking to us for leadership when they truly want to see more. This is Mike's about section. And you can see he doesn't really talk about his career. He talks about the quality of the person that he is. He talks about being a problem solver. He does mention that he's an account manager at Google and that he's driven by personal relationships. He talks about becoming a trusted advisor and that leadership is highly valued and that you don't have to be the same. You need diversity. Everyone has something to bring to the table. And then he talks about being a retired tennis player turned golf addict, which is charming and lets us get to know him even better. We're looking to build connection on LinkedIn and not just connection requests, but legitimate human connection. Then, and this is something I don't necessarily recommend for most people, which is Mike has his medical history on his about section. But in Mike's case, Mike was playing at the highest level of collegiate tennis and was about to go pro when he was diagnosed with disease. Because of his high profile status, he was able to use that to be a part of the Kidney Foundation and really help the foundation and promote a lot of understanding around the disease. So he felt as though it was a public enough story that he could tell and let us understand about who he was as a person. Now, I have a question for everyone. You can put this in the chat. Winner, the closest one wins. Based off of this, how old do you think Mike is? Now, anybody who's in HR is like, you're not allowed to ask that. And as women, we go, none of your business. But so many times we accidentally give away our age in our about section. So let's take a look here. We've got 45, 41, 34, mid 40s. Anybody else high, up, down? What's the over under on 40? Most people that I give this presentation to guessed, yeah, somewhere in the mid 30s, mid to late 30s. It may surprise you to learn that when this was written, Mike was 25 years old. He was at his first job out of university because his original about section said, as a recent graduate of whatever university, I can't wait to start my career and do these things. And I look forward to, and all of the language that he was using suggested to his audience that I haven't done this yet. Can I please practice on you? And it was so bad that he had a senior manager who was a prospect reach back out to him and say, hey, you're doing a great job, kid, but can I please speak to an adult? Ooh, that's not something we want. On the other hand, every day I see about sections that say, with 20 plus years of experience in the industry, blah, 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 blah. And I know what you're saying. 20 years in the industry, you've seen it, you've been through it. You have experience, you have knowledge, you are trustworthy, you should be respected and expected to lead. But 20 plus years in the industry, especially if you work with any kind of tech, may suggest that you are out of touch and don't know what's going on in the industry. I had a woman come to me and say, but Leah, I am really old. I was in the room when they announced the first Apple computer. I was there with Steve Jobs. And I said, oh, that's cool. That is the story. To talk about the experiences that you've had. Chantel, I would say no, there's not an ideal time to call the number of years experience because we want you to tell the story. In my career, I've had the privilege of working at many companies where, and then talk about what you do, how you impact people. Every sentence should explain to the individual, whether it's the sales team, whether it's the marketing team, whether it's the executive team. Hey, this is how I impact business. This is how the people who come to me and are influenced by me can expect to be around and to interact with me because I have this kind of experience and I have this kind of leadership style. Imagine seeing that when someone is going to be hired to work for you. Man, let's talk about empowerment. To know that you're going to go work with some really cool ladies because their about section explains all of the experience and why they're so good at their job. Fabulous. Any questions about the profile? We've got just over 15 minutes left, and I want to touch on the most important part of LinkedIn. Alyssa, this is a fabulous question. Do you list all of the roles or companies that you've worked at, especially if they give away your age? I would not suggest putting anything past the year 2000 unless it is such a significantly well-known company or brand within the industry that it's going to have some wow factor. I also, this isn't your resume. You don't have to account for gaps, and you don't have to include anything that doesn't align with your current career trajectory. So leave some things out, add some things. If you had a really great internship and this is something that you are really proud of and it makes an impact and that future hires are, or excuse me, future employers are going to care about, absolutely put past internships. But if you spent the summer between your junior and senior year of college lifeguarding, I'd probably leave that out. Things like that. How do you deal with gaps? You just don't. Nobody actually cares once you get into your role and start doing your job. The best way to get a new job is to start talking on LinkedIn about how good you are at your current job. Job seeking is a whole nother topic, and I have a whole nother presentation for that. So at the end of this call, I'm going to offer every single one of you a chance to have a one-on-one with me. So I was going to leave it as a surprise, but if you are interested to sit down and ask some of these questions that apply specifically to you, please feel free to grab time on my calendar and we can talk through how to deal with gaps or if you're looking for a job. So I'd be more than happy. But let's talk about the last and most important thing when it comes to LinkedIn. Because on LinkedIn, we understand that we need to post quality content and we need to attract people to our profile so they can get to know us better. But the missing piece to this cycle of success is commenting. To answer the question, do the length that's an about section should be, is Mike's too long? No, Mike's is perfectly long. You want 3, 4, 5 paragraphs worth of content to tell your story. Great question. But commenting, the power of commenting is the most impactful thing you can do. If you do nothing else on LinkedIn after this call, I want you to do this one thing. Start commenting. Because when you comment on a post, your comment plus the post you commented on is shared to 30% of your network. 30% of the people that you're connected to will see the comments that you leave. And for most of us, we leave comments like this. Great post, thanks for sharing. Congrats, cool story. It's a verbal thumbs up. What we need to do is shift because we've missed an opportunity if we don't leave impactful comments. With 30% of our audience listening, we can take the opportunity to use the topic of the post to say something that we want to say without the need of creating our entire post around it. Here's the best way to structure a comment. And if you're going to take a screenshot of any of the slides, I would do this one. First, acknowledge the author. Tag the individual that you are commenting on. Carolyn made a post. I would say, at Carolyn. You can select her name from the dropdown and then backspace over any of the other parts, the last name, to make it a little bit more conversational, but they'll still be alerted that you've acknowledged them. Then you want to assume that there are people peeking over your shoulder, reading this conversation that you're having, and that they're probably not going to read the post. So you need to give them context for your network. So acknowledge the author and then restate the key points, understanding that while there may be a topic in this post, you want to speak to your audience about this topic specifically. And so bring that up and mention it. Then add your own insights. This is the absolute difference. This is the leverage point for becoming a thought leader. Acknowledge your author, restate the key points, and then add your own insights. I love what you, at Jenny, I love what you had to say about the impact of this of AI on the legal space, because in my experience, a lot of my clients are freaking out or leveraging it these kinds of ways. And I found that this is really an important conversation. Thank you so much for bringing this up. That is now a comment that people start engaging with, people start seeing. You leave a comment like that, and people start to notice. Here's an example I'll share. This is me and one of the girls on our sales team. And every single year we go to this conference. It's called Evolve, and it's hosted by a technology company called Trace3. It's in Las Vegas. And every year, before we go to this conference, we get a list of all of the attendees because we want to sell to them. All of the attendees of this conference are I was reading Katie's question and lost my train of thought. All of the attendees at this conference are my prospects. I'm going to go back so you can screenshot this. So we go to this conference. We get a list of the attendees because my goal is to book sales calls with them. So we go through and we figure of the 5,000 people in attendance, we're going to target a list of 100 people. So we find the 100 people, and for 2 weeks before the conference, we start leaving comments. But there are 3 rules. The 3 rules are: we cannot talk about our services, can't talk about LinkedIn, can't talk about training, can't talk about anything. We don't mention that we're going to be at the conference. And we absolutely, under no circumstances, send connection requests. No connection requests. And then we post and we comment and we comment. We blitz for 2 weeks. This is all we do. Comment, 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 comment. Because the second that I walk into that conference, there are 100 people that come up to me and say, Leah, oh, it's so great to finally meet you in person. I didn't know you were going to be here. That's crazy. It is crazy. And then I, because I'm sneaky, say, it looks like we're not connected on LinkedIn. Let's do that now. 100% success rate for accepted connection requests on LinkedIn because no one says no to your face. Then we talk and we interact. Now, instead of trying to awkwardly introduce myself at this conference to 100 people, I'm simply continuing to build the relationship that I've already fostered on LinkedIn beforehand. We average between 20 and 30% of those 100 people to get on sales calls every year. This is a huge benefit for our sales organization, and it's something that's really helpful when prepping for any kind of conference. Now, the
Leah, I'm
question
sorry.
is,
I think I missed one point of your story. So you look at the list of people that are going to be in attendance and you target 100 people. So you're not LinkedIn connections with them, but you just start commenting on their posts, or how do you do that?
yep, yep. We create it's either you can do it in a CRM. We do it on a shared Excel spreadsheet. We keep this so simple. And then we go through every day and see who's posted. Have any of these people posted? Can I comment on their post? Can I comment on a comment that they've done? Are they reposting things? How can I find ways to interact with them on LinkedIn? But we do not send connection requests.
Got it. Okay, so you're able to connect on posts for people that you're not connections with.
You can comment on posts for people you are not connected to.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And you just have to type in their name to access their page. Okay. Okay.
Yep. Or, this is where Sales Navigator comes as a great tool. There is also I do a deep dive on sales strategy as a whole separate session, a way to use LinkedIn to search for prospects. So there's a lot of tools at your disposal with LinkedIn.
One other question. Do people ever think it's weird that someone that they're not connected to is engaging with their post?
Never, because nobody posts on LinkedIn hoping that no one's going to comment. And if a complete stranger comes and finds what you said to be valuable, it only feeds your ego.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's helpful.
You're welcome. Yeah. Yes. And you bring up a great point here, Esther, because so often when we think about LinkedIn, we think about it, and we're doing it with intention, just like with this campaign. We did it very intentionally. But this is something that it feels so organic on the receiving side, and even more so when we do it in person. It would be so organic of me to come up and to overhear a conversation at a networking conference and interject myself, oh my gosh, I love what you said about that. In the work that I do, we find something really similar. That's normal conversation. That is very, very easy and natural. And we never think about it. But because we have to take one extra step to make that decision on LinkedIn, we second guess ourselves and we feel that hesitation to engage with more people. So, Esther, fabulous point to bring up here. Sharon, question. We shouldn't connect before a conference. Is it okay to follow? No, you do not want them. You do not want to ask for anything from them. A follow, even though following technically isn't asking, I just copy the link to their LinkedIn page and use that because following someone, then it's, well, I've been following you for a while. There's different strategies that I can rabbit hole down into, but for this specific strategy, blitz the comments, no connection requests, and then you ask for them in person. And then Katie's question about posting about how you're attending the conference. If I am speaking at a conference, I will absolutely post that I'm attending a conference. If I am going to a conference strictly on a sales mission, I do not post that I'm attending because I don't want to be the annoying salesperson. I'm already there asking people to give me money, but I want to announce my presence. But yes, it is. It's important to make sure that you build up the relationship with the potential prospects and give those drops into the bucket long before you ask them for anything so that you don't come across really creepy or salesy because nobody likes to feel that. Do I think that emojis or icons make the post more engaging or gimmicky? So the way that I formatted the chips post was very intentional. I do not like emojis that come at the end of sentences. I like them as concepts to replace bullet points. I am an elder millennial. That's an opinion. I work a lot with my father, who is also a LinkedIn expert, and he does not use emojis at all because he is a boomer. So it's generational. Yeah, I like to use them to help make reading easier, not harder, if that answers the question. Perfect. This is your homework. We've got 5 minutes left. This is the homework I want to get to you. All you have to do on LinkedIn is leave 3 comments a day, 5 days a week. This will make a huge impact on your ability to be seen by a brand new audience. Make sure you diversify the people you're commenting on, of course, your company and your colleagues. Naturally, all of us on this call who are, we're networking friends now. Everyone should connect with each other on this call. We should all be commenting on each other's posts to support each other in the algorithm. But also because everyone on this call is going to have something really valuable to say for everyone else's audience. And so to show up and give that kind of input is beneficial. But then go out and find people, whether it's prospects or potential new hires or anybody who is talking about a topic that you want your audience to see you talking about. Let me say that again. Comment on posts that you want your audience to see you interacting with because you think it's valuable, because you think your audience will care. Knowing that your audience is going to see every comment and every like. Don't get like happy. Don't get sloppy with your likes. Your audience sees every time you like and every time you comment. This is what I can promise you. This is the graph from a gentleman who took my sales training and he was dutifully reposting content every day. This is a graph of the number of profile views that he had over a 90-day period. Then you can see the day that he switched to a commenting strategy. He had more people viewing his profile in a single week than he had in the previous 90 days combined, because all he did was shift to a commenting strategy. Because when you find other people interesting, they start to find you interesting. and they want to engage with you. And that's where that cycle of success comes in, because you comment on someone's post, they go and look at your profile. When someone connects with you, they are 100% guaranteed to see your next post, because they are now in that 10% test group. Because new connections, the algorithm wants to see how well you engage. Is this a good match? Do they care about each other's content? Or is this just a casual thing that we can let go out of the algorithm? So this is what I promise will happen. This is what you should do. 3 comments a day, 5 days a week. Everyone is dropping their LinkedIn into the chat. Also, if you commented on Carolyn's post, you can see each other's profiles there. And we'll keep the chat open for a little while. I'm going to throw up this QR code so you can schedule a call with me. I am going to be out of the country for another week or so. So my availability might extend a couple of weeks, but feel free to schedule a call. While you guys are doing that, Carolyn, I would love a report back on what your post is done on impressions.
Yeah, I was actually just going through all the comments. I think I was at 33 comments, so they're still coming in. Let's just refresh here and see if I can get
Yes.
the impressions update as well. Okay, we are up to 682 impressions and 40 comments. This is by far the most popular post in my entire existence on LinkedIn, and I am not young. I'm a cusper, millennial slash elder
Cusper, I like it. An elder millennial. Yes,
Yeah.
we love being an elder millennial.
So
Every single one of you can replicate this. You're welcome. Now we've got just about a minute left. Monica, I don't know if you want to take it away if we've got time for more questions, but that is a lot of LinkedIn content.
Thank you. This has just been the most productive, incredible hour for everyone on this call. Just check out the chat. It's been amazing. I'm getting comments, how to do even more with everything that you've shared. So thank you for allowing us to record this. It's going to be shared in our YouTube channel. You can also check out our DEIB webinar series and other HQ events. Today is Tuesday, November 5th. I am a huge advocate of using your rights. As if you are eligible to vote, please make sure you have voted. That is my one simple plug. And yes, this was phenomenal. Go vote. Be well. Direct loving words of kindness to yourself, and then go comment on all of your new friends' LinkedIn posts.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
I can't
connect with me, of course.
What was that?
What
Could
was
I
that?
ask a quick question, just super quick?
Come on, Karina.
Leah, what's a good or a good number of impressions? Like what should you aspire to, or try to hit?
This is a great question. You should try to hit. Let me ask, what's your role in your organization?
Oh, I'm a co-founder, managing partner of KXT Law. I'm the K.
Okay. You're the K. I love it. I would hope that you would be getting 1,000 impressions, between 700 and 1,200. Let's give it that range. Between 700 and 1,200 on each post that you do, if you leave each post up for at least 3 days. And there is a ton of strategy about what to post. We didn't even talk about what you should be writing. We just talked about how to make it successful. So 700 to 1,300. And what's more important is the impressions. More important than the impressions is the number of profile views. If you can increase the number of people who are looking at your profile to understand who you are and what you stand for, that is where you make the impact.
Got it. Thank you so much. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that was a great question, Karina. And Leah, there was another question on what does it mean to leave a post up?
Leave a post up means to make a post go live and then not post anything else. So comment, but 1 or 2 posts a week is really all that you need.
Great. Thank you so much. Yeah, and Olivia just shared, if you liked this session, please leave a testimonial on the value of virtual learning that CHIPS develops. We're going to bring more members into the organization so we can bring Leah in to work with them.
I'll come off camera
Yeah.
for that one. Yeah, please let us know. We want to bring Leah back for all the new members all the time. We want to do more with this.
Thank you. This has been incredible. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everyone.
everybody. See you on LinkedIn.
Yeah, enjoy your trip in